Hey guys, Amanda here. So I am back with part 2 of the empathic traits, and I'm just going to pick up where I left off, and we are on question 11. Well, not question, but the 11th trait, sorry. Okay, so number 11, addictive personality. Alcohol, drugs, sex are to name but a few addictions that empaths turn to block out the emotions of others. It is a form of self-protection in order to hide from someone or something. Okay, well, I guess for me, that would be chocolate. If I actually have to say, hi, my name is Amanda, and I have an addiction, the addiction would be chocolate. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's because chocolate does something to your brain to make you feel good. So maybe that's why. I mean, I've always loved chocolate. It's always been that thing that will make me feel better. I don't know why. I'm just trying to think, because it's talking about these as an addiction. So I'm just trying to think of, yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily what this means, but for me, and I think a lot of it too is that it's something that I'm doing that's taking my focus away from what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling or what I'm picking up about what other people are feeling. I think that's partly why that I do that, because then I'm focusing on, okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in my mouth, I'm going to eat it and enjoy it, so yeah, that's all I can think of for that one. Okay, number 12, drawn to healing, holistic therapies, and all things metaphysical. Although many empaths would love to heal others, they can end up turning away from being healers, even though they have a natural ability for it. After they've studied and qualified, because they take on too much from the one they are trying to heal, especially if they are unaware of their empathy. Anything of a supernatural nature is of interest to empaths, and they don't surprise or get shocked easily, even at the revelation of what many others would consider unthinkable. For example, empaths would have known the world was round when others believed it was flat. Okay, I'm not even going to tackle that last part of that sentence because that is a whole separate conversation. So, yeah, I don't like that example. I don't like that example. I don't know. This seems like it's kind of combining more than one aspect, because it's talking about like healing, but then it talks about like whether you believe the world is flat or round. So I don't know. I'm gonna not talk about that. All right, so the healing part and being drawn to all things metaphysical. Well, I believe that to be true for me. My entire life, I don't know why, but I always want to help people. Like, if I saw somebody in a situation where they needed help, I would always offer help. Sometimes I would do it without asking if they wanted help, but that was more of an impulsive reaction to, somebody just being rude and mean and bullying people and whatnot. But yeah, I've always been drawn to wanting to help my fellow humans. I mean, I have a CNA license, of course I can't work as a CNA now because you have to work so many hours during the year to keep that certificate valid. So I would actually have to retake the course and then get recertified, which would actually be a good idea because I haven't been a CNA since '04. So I would definitely need to brush up on some of that stuff. And hey, there might be new stuff in there that I don't know about. You know, sometimes they take away, sometimes they add. You never know. So there's that. And then when I went to college, the first major I picked was like education. I was thinking more about like daycare stuff in that perspective, but that's still working with people and taking care of them, because kids are people. They're human beings just like us. They're just smaller. So there's that. When my grandmother was sick, I learned a lot of the CNA skills because of that. She used to be a CNA, so she knew, you know, some stuff. But then, you know, and my mother, years back when my mother's second husband was sick, when he was still alive, you know, she helped with a lot of things. So she learned a lot from like the nurses that came in and the CNAs and all that. So it was kind of almost like kind of passed down just because it was just always there. So I did a lot of stuff, you know, helping my grandmother, even though she was sick and it was very, very difficult to do so. I did it anyway because I loved her. I still love her. Okay, and then when I went to college, well, back to that, when I was going to the 2-year college, that's when I started the education thing. But then I decided I didn't want to do that, so I went for a liberal arts degree because I wanted to see what was out there. And I ended up, when I went to 4-year college, I ended up picking psychology as my major, which again is working with people and helping them. But I found out with psychology, you have to, you can only work in a narrow field. It's very specific. And I didn't want to be constrained by only working with this set of people. I wanted to be able to work with all people if I chose. So then that's when I wanted to switch to social work. But during that time, that's when I ended up withdrawing for medical purposes and stuff like that. So I didn't actually get to change my major the way I wanted to. And I had to put the college stuff on hold because there was a lot going on, and I just wasn't in a place where I could be a productive student. And if I can't do that, then how can I help anybody else? So I needed to take time off, and when I'm ready, when things are right, I'm gonna look back into, you know, finishing my degree. I'd really like to finish it. I don't want to just leave it there because I'm so close to finishing. You know, I don't want to just be like, I'm never going back. I would like to finish it. So someday I will finish it. So there we go. You know, all of that was helping people. And it talks about holistic therapies and stuff. And I'm going to say that, yes, I am into that kind of stuff. I do think that natural remedies and things that don't necessarily include taking pills and whatnot can help you. It's been proven that it can, and that it can actually work a lot better than the kind of medicine we have here. So yeah. Okay, so that was number 12. Okay, hello Lucky. Number 13, creative. From singing, dancing, acting, drawing, or writing, an empath will have a strong creative streak and a vivid imagination. That is me. I love singing. I really do. It's the one thing that, I don't know, it just does something to me. It makes me just feel really, really good. And yeah, I can't explain it. It's something that you have to feel to understand. There just aren't words to describe that for me. I did take dancing when I was younger. I wish I had stuck with it, but I didn't. But I loved that too, and I was really good at it. Acting, I did. My freshman year in high school, you had to take a form of an arts, and I took theater, and that was fun. Drawing, I can't draw. That's one thing that I do not have any artistic ability in, is drawing or like painting and things like that. I just don't have whatever it is, but I always had fun in art class because I didn't care if it looked good or not. I didn't care. I liked when we paper machéed. I loved it. I really did. It was awesome. You know, we did some other things in art class, and I'm talking about when I was in like first, second, and third grade. You know, I loved it. So yeah, and then there's writing. I do write. I do. It's therapeutic, and sometimes it can help me sort out all the jumbled mess in my head by seeing it on paper. You know, and I like to write poems and things like that. So I've always, you know, been, you know, drawn to that kind of thing. But drawing in and of itself, you know, I'm sorry, but I will never be a cartoonist, and I will never be a Da Vinci. So it's just, that ain't gonna happen. Okay, number 14. Love of nature and animals. Being outdoors in nature is a must for empaths, and pets are an essential part of their life. True. For me, I love nature. I go outside and I look at the trees and I look at the birds and I look at... Is that you, Teddy? Mom? Hello? I think it was my cat moving around. I heard something, sorry. So I go outside and I like to look at nature. I look up in the sky, I look at the clouds, I look at the stars, I look at the moon. I don't look at the sun, but I notice the sun. You know, like right now it is snowing and it is beautiful. You know, it's just, nature is wonderful to me. And I love animals, all animals. Okay, I'm not going to say all animals. I like most animals. Some I'm terrified of, like snakes. I mean, I know they serve their purpose, but they can be there and I can be here. So, but I've always had animals in my life. I grew up with animals, you know, dogs and cats. So, I mean, I've had birds, I've had fish, I had the gerbil or hamster, whatever it was, I can't remember now. You know, I've always loved animals, and that will never change. And to be honest, sometimes it's easier to, oh, what's that word? It's easier to talk with animals than it is to talk with other human beings, because animals just, they just love you because they love you, you know. And people, a lot of them, it's like, well, I love you, but here's the catch. And yeah, but I love animals. I love outdoors. It's really awesome for me. Okay, number 15, need for solitude. An empath will go stir crazy if they don't get quiet time. This is even obvious in empathic children. Oh yeah. Oh yes, that is true. That is so true for me. I don't like being like in big crowd. I hate going to Walmart, you know. There's just too many people. And I hate it when people like block the aisles with their carts with nothing in their carts. They like turn them sideways, and it's like, and I'll just be like, excuse me, move. You know, I'll move their cart for them if they don't move for me. It's just too much sometimes. I don't mind being around people, you know, for a while, but then I need time for myself. I like being alone in some instances, because sometimes I just need to sit with myself. I need to think by myself. I need to do things by myself without other people. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to do things with other people. But yeah, I do have a need for solitude. Number 16, gets bored or distracted easily if not stimulated. Work, school, and home life has to be kept interesting for an empath, or they switch off from it and end up daydreaming or doodling. That's so me. Wow, it's like someone went into my head and took all this out. Yeah, I do get distracted very, very easily. Like making this video, I'm not distracted. This is interesting to me. This is stimulating to me. That's why I'm so into it. But yeah, I mean, if something bores me, you've lost me. And that happened a lot when I was in, you know, school, not college, but school. If something was not, if it didn't grab my attention, I was off in la la land thinking about stuff that made me happy. So, I mean, like, there was this one time we had to read this book for English. I got maybe a quarter way through the first chapter, and I didn't understand the book, and I fell asleep because it was boring. Like, it had nothing about it was like, oh, I want to keep reading. I never read the book. I was just like, whatever. I don't know how I made it through that time period, because you got graded on it, obviously. But I made it through. I don't know how I did, but I did. I don't know. But yeah, I need things to be interesting, or I go off. Well, it's not like I go off. I go inside my head and daydream, or whatever it is that your brain does. Number 17, finds it impossible to do things they don't enjoy. As above, feels like they are living a lie by doing so. To force an empath to do something they dislike through guilt or labeling them as idle will only serve in making them unhappy. It's for this reason many empaths get labeled as being lazy. Oh, amen. Amen. If I don't enjoy it, if I don't like it, if it doesn't interest me, I probably won't do it. And even if I do it, yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, hey, thanks for doing this with me. It's kind of like, you know what, why don't you go sit down? Why don't you go do something else? You know, why would I do something I don't enjoy? Why would anyone do that? I mean, yes, there are things you have to do as like an adult, like pay your rent, pay your mortgage, you know, you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. I'm not talking about that, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't enjoy parasailing, so I'm never going to do it. And I know I wouldn't like it because I'm terrified of heights, and I've seen people crash and those kinds of things where they fly off mountains and stuff, and yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm really, really okay with not doing something like that. Another thing that I really hate to do is dishes. I hate dishes. I hate when people have hundreds of dishes. You don't need like 700 million spoons, you know? So I hate doing dishes. I won't do them unless there's nothing left to use, because I would rather use like paper plates and plastic utensils and just do it that way, you know? Just worry about the pots and pans, and then there you go. Now, would somebody say that that's me being lazy? Probably. But it's more of the fact that I'm not into it. So I won't do it. Want to call me lazy? Call me lazy. Don't care. All right. Number 18, strives for the truth. This becomes more prevalent when an empath discovers his, her gifts and birthright. Anything untruthful feels plain wrong. Wow. Okay, so let's just put it this way. I always know when people are lying to me. I might not say anything, but I always know. I always know when people are lying. Call it a gift, I don't know. It does say discovers his, her gifts. Okay, it is a gift. I always know when people are lying. Yeah, I don't like it when people lie to try to manipulate situations. You know, just own it. Own it. Don't lie. Be truthful to yourself. It's really not about other people. Be truthful to yourself. You know, if you're like, hey, I'm a da-da-da-da-da, then own it. Whether people like it or not, well, that's totally different. But just don't lie. Just don't. I don't know. Yeah. I always want to know what the truth is. Not what people think, not what people feel, but the truth. The truth doesn't care what you think or feel. It is truth, and that's all it is. So, okay, so number 19. Always looking for the answers and knowledge. To have unanswered questions can be frustrating for an empath, and they will endeavor to find an explanation. If they have a knowing about something, they will look for confirmation. The downside to this is an information overload. Yeah, that is me. Yes, I will. If I need an answer to a question, I will search and search and search and search until, you know, I find things and figure it out if I can. I mean, I think that's why I loved college so much, because I was constantly seeking answers and knowledge. You know, I've just always been that way. And it's true, the information can be overloaded, because if you don't take breaks, if you don't do it, you know, in sections, then it's just all this input coming in, and it's blah, like that, you know. So yeah. All right, number 20. Likes adventure, freedom, and travel. Empaths are free spirits. Oh, yeah. I wish I could travel. I have a kid, so I can't. Just don't have the money. He's got to go to school. I got to be here, you know. I'd love to just drive around the continental U.S. and just go to all these different places and see different parts of the country and meet different people and you know, just learn more about the country I'm from. You know, I would love to do that. Love it. You know, I really would. And I'm always up for an adventure. I like when I was in high school, I liked when I would just get in the car and I'd drive. And I didn't have a destination. And I would just drive anywhere. And sometimes I would end up in a different state. Sometimes I'd end up way far away from where I live, in the same state, but just way in a place I've never been. And just whatever happens, you know, like I liked that. And sometimes it would be with friends, you know, and we would just go and have a lot of time it was with friends. I didn't always do it alone, because I didn't want to get lost without somebody being there with me. But I mean, that was part of the adventure, getting lost. But yeah, I guess I just liked to share that experience with other people, and it was fun. So, I mean, that's, yeah, I do like that. And definitely freedom. I think a lot of people like freedom, but I think it's just in the sense of just letting down all the boundaries, all the walls, and just let whatever happens. That's what an adventure is, you know? All right, so that is part 2. I hope that some of this was helpful for you, or you could relate, or whatever. got a kick out of hearing my answers. But if any of these ring true for you, then you know what? You might have empathic abilities. I mean, I can't say all humans are that way. I don't know all humans, but I'd like to think that there's a lot of empathic people out there, with or without mental illness. And it's a good thing, you know, being empathic is a good thing. So that was part 2. So thank you for watching. I hope you all are doing well. Please take care of yourselves and each other. I love you all. Peace and love. Bye, guys.